Lights, camera, action. I believe one of the best time machine ever known to man is a human mind. It will cherish the past, live in the present, and project into the future. Visualization and imagination are powerful tools which help to create a blueprint for the mind to manifest. Now, I will take you into an era when slavery was predominant in America. What color are you? May have been the most important question in American history. It marked the beginning of racialism when skin became color, color became race, and race became power. Here was a little girl, Nancy, who was playing outside the hut. She was a black girl. Suddenly she is reminded of her mom and she runs into the hut, dropping all her toys. It is a beautiful sight to watch girls around 6 years play with their moms. They are extremely sincerely devoted to their moms. They not only follow her wherever she goes, but they also follow every instruction and every action of their mom. One more common observation of girls of this age is they are so intuitively connected to their moms. They not only feel the pain, but these girls also take up the responsibility and are proactive in helping their moms in their cute little ways. It so happens, most often you can see these girls expect their moms to be very well groomed and always expect them to be happy and dynamic, moving all the time. Nancy had run into the hut with a lot of excitement to play with her mom. But the moment she saw her mom still lying on the muddy floor, her spirits dropped. She closed slowly to the mom as though like a little puppy to draw her attention. The mom opens her eyes and tries to cuddle the child in order to comfort her in spite of her weakness. Nancy's mom did not go to work into the farm because she was not feeling well. Nancy's mom was a share farmer and she worked for the owner called Mark. Mark was a tall, hefty man who owned the farm and he also owned a mill. Nancy's mom would help Mark even in the mill, and Mark had to give her 50 cents. Nancy's mom was very weak and she could hardly not walk up to the mill, so she instructed the little girl to go collect 50 cents from the owner. Nancy jumped immediately and she ran across the farm with her bare little feet. On reaching the farm, she slowly opens the door and she finds a tall white man standing near the milling machine. Her eyes are lit up because she found the owner. Mark looked up and saw the girl. He almost barked at her as she, "What do you want?" Meekly, this girl replied, "My mama say send her 50 cents. Mark shouted at the girl, "I will not do it. Now, run home." Mark was very inhuman in his behavior. The girl said yes sir, but she did not move an inch. Mark got busy with his work and he could not pay any attention to check if the girl had left. So he had continued with his work. After some time, when Mark looked up, he saw the girl was still standing there. So, the moment he saw this girl, he got irritated and he yelled at her, "I told you to go home. Why are you still staying there? Go away now, or else." Mark stared to scare the child. But Nancy again said yes sir, but she did not move an inch. Mark was a man of fierce temper. Seeing the girl still standing near the door, he got annoyed and he dropped the sack of grain which he was supposed to pour it into the mill hopper and moved towards the girl, picking up a barrel stick. Now the girl was definitely in trouble. It seemed as though Mark had almost decided to assault the child. Mark has fuming with anger, and as he approached the door and almost raised his hand to hit the child, the girl, instead of running away, stepped forward, looked into his eyes so fiercely and screamed on top of her shrill voice, saying, "My mama got to have that 50 cent." Mark stopped for a minute. He dropped the stick on the floor, slowly put his hands into the pocket, pulled out $50 and gave it to the girl. The girl took away the 50 cents, back towards the door, never taking her eyes off the man whom she had just conquered. After the girl had left, Mark sat down on a wooden box and looked outside the window into the open space. He was in a shock. It was a thunderbolt experience because he was mentally whipped by a child. He was awestruck. I was awestruck too. Because I wondered, how could this little girl, Nancy, being a black, master a tall, hefty man, almost a white man like Mark? How did she do it? What strange power did she have which helped her to master the situation? How did a fierce man like Mark become as docile as a lamb? Do you know the answers? Are you curious to know the answers? Then pay me 50 cents. This is a 50-cent story on persistence from the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. If you're curious to know the answer, please send me 50 cents. There have been several life lessons which I have learned from stories. Stories leave an indelible mark or impressions not only in the mind but also in our heart. Stories are biggest tools of visualization and transformation. So was this story for me. I was condemned in my childhood for being dark in complexion. It had left wounds which were very painful, very deep, and I could not outgrow this wound for several years. It took a lot of time for me to get this whole wound healed. It was the biggest blow on my self-image and self-belief, which had left the scars which still remain throughout my life. Every time, I don't know what the reason is, but every time when I comprehend or look back, whenever I visualize this story, I can look into the eyes of the girl and somehow I feel so connected to the girl and I feel the strange strength and power the girl had. I almost inspire and almost get the strength that the girl had throughout the story. I feel the same strength. I derive my strength, and this girl has been the source of inspiration. Somehow, this is my power pack. It so happened that this story also taught me two more important lessons. One was the power of conviction and the other the power of persistence. Power of conviction is when you feel no matter what, you are going to achieve the task in spite of all the challenges. The challenges are several in life. The moment life knows you want something, it starts throwing obstacles one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. But for the conviction to work, there are three important things which are necessary. One is a clear, defined goal or purpose. In the story, Nancy had stuck onto a clear purpose that her mom had been suffering. She needed that 50 cents so much, and to stop her mom's suffering, she had to get that 50 cents. There was no taking back from the situation. So she had a clear-cut goal and a desire, which was a burning desire. She wanted the 50 cents to help her mom come out of a dire situation. Most of the times we do not know or have the clarity on what we want. And the other thing is, most of the times we have a wish and not a desire. There's a huge difference between wish and desire. If I am drowning in water, and what is the most important thing I need? I need air. The dire need of air is like the burning desire. Once the person has a burning desire, he is got the momentum and he taps the power of the subconscious mind to overcome any challenges. Somehow, this story always reminds me of the power which lies within every individual during the moments of crisis or during the moments of dealing with a situation. That is the power of subconscious mind. So there are several ways to tap the power of subconscious mind. So it is the power of conviction, one of the main key to tap the subconscious mind. For the power of subconscious mind to work, we need a clear, well-defined purpose or goal. The second most important thing is the desire. And the third most important thing is the willpower. No matter what, the willpower brings the necessary drive and leverage to anchor all your mind powers and physical powers to master the situation. This is very evident in the story. And the second thing is the power of persistence. The power of persistence is trying to repeatedly do the work. First time you face an obstacle when you're doing a task. Even if you face an obstacle, you don't achieve in doing it. You keep trying until when? Until you succeed. This is very clear in the story. Nancy, no matter how many times Mark said no, he denied to give her the 50 cents, she kept trying on the single goal. No matter what, she would persist until she would succeed. Life is a big trickster. It tries to test us to see how strong is our conviction and desire to achieve something. The moment we persist until we succeed, life dissolves all the obstacles and paves way for success. This story portrays the power of persistence, the power of conviction, and the power of self-belief. My dear friends, I wanted to share this story because every time you hear this story, this will be a greatest source of strength and inspiration to you. And every time you believe that you cannot do, know that it's your belief that is your biggest hurdle. There's no other enemy than that. So every time you hear this story, it should be a source of strength and inspiration to you. And here was once a story from me claiming the power of persistence. You will persist until you succeed no matter what. Let this conviction be yours every time you pass through life. Wishing you all the best. Have a great self-belief, the power of conviction and the power of persistence empowering you all the time.